This is Underdogs, and it's one of the most refreshing takes on VR combat I've played in years. It wasn't really on my radar until a few weeks ago. I've seen it in videos and thought it looked cool, but with a never-ending list of new game releases, I never got around to playing it and honestly forgot about it. Until recently, when one of the developers at OneHamza reached out offering me a chance to check out their game. This is not a sponsored video. I didn't even tell them I was going to make a video, but after spending time with the game, I reworked my entire release calendar just to make one because I think it deserves way more attention. This is a perfect example of how good ideas and great design can deliver compelling experiences even in a challenging niche medium like VR. It offers a mech power fantasy unlike any other, and the only fault I really came away with was that I wish there was more I could play. Underdogs is a physics-based mech brawler roguelike. That's a mouthful that sounds like it was pulled out of a hat, but stick with me. In a dystopian future, you play as Rig, and the giant mech he pilots the Gorilla, or Rilla for short, as you battle your way through a series of underground mech fights on your way to New Bracca, the last remaining city run by humans. Your brother King is infected by an AI, and New Bracca offers the only chance they have to save him. You'll make deals with the seedy characters of the underground, upgrade your mech, and fight your way through some really challenging wave-based arena matches to come out on top. Every single time you step into the arena, and I do mean every single time, with lights kicking on, your mech powering up, looking out at the roaring crowd, and that dirty bass kicks in, you just feel like a mean, death-dealing machine.
This the kill box, huh? Good vibes. Man, that crowd sounds mental. Let's show them our play.
When the developer reached out to me about their game, they mentioned their unique take on VR embodiment in response to my criticisms of physics-based characters in Boneworks. I've said and maintained that in Boneworks it feels like you're controlling a floppy puppet, and there's a frustrating disconnect when your movements in it don't always align with your real-world actions. The unique take that OneHamza's come up with here has quickly become one of my favorite implementations of physics and embodiment in VR. It's so simple and intuitive that you wonder why nobody's ever tried this before. You see, in Underdogs, you only have direct one-to-one control over the mech's pilot. As you move your hands around, you'll also see the pilot's hands move in unison with your own. But the mech's arms, which are driven by physics and sit out in front of you, follow a similar movement with force applied behind it. So while your hands line up with the pilot's, the harder you swing, the harder the mech will hit, and the more damage you'll do. Think something like the movie Real Steel or Pacific Rim. It also means that if you're going to play this, you might want to make sure you have enough play space because you are going to be swinging aggressively. This game is a serious workout and I almost put a hole in my wall. Throughout each run, you're going to be able to upgrade and swap out the parts of your mech, making it more effective or sturdy in combat. My personal favorite is a claw weapon that lets you grab enemies and then smash them with the other hand or throw them into one of the many hazards in the arena. To move around the arena, you use your arms to drag yourself, fittingly like a gorilla. If you've played Gorilla Tag, it's very reminiscent, and you can be pretty nimble, even propelling yourself directly into opponents to send them flying. The structure of the game is broken up into days. Each day you have 3 moves: morning, noon, and evening, followed by an arena fight every night. Each part of the day you have to decide between 2 random options to perform. You might decide to repair your mech, buy upgrades, salvage for scrap, or increase your reputation with one of the patrons. And since many of the outcomes are based on dice rolls, it won't always go your way. Before each fight at the end of the day, you'll choose a patron to decide the additional hazards in combat and the rewards that you'll get for winning. Like any good roguelike, it's a balancing act, and a few bad decisions could end your run before you know it. Each of your arms and the bubble has an independent health bar, and they can be upgraded through your run to be more sturdy. But if the health drains in your arms, they can also be ripped off entirely, and if the bubble runs out of health, you're starting over from day one. There was a fight that I just barely survived by using my severed arm as a battering ram. Some of the stuff outside of combat can get a little repetitive, but the payoff in the arena when you have a monster build that can just lay waste to everything is unbelievable. This game just exudes a violent, angry energy, and the physicality really drags you into it. Deep into runs, I even find myself getting into character, trying to hype myself up before tough fights. It's spectacular. If you do manage to conquer the challenging campaign, they also recently added a robust sandbox mode called Sandboxer, where you can create and share little scenarios or test mech builds on different enemies. And on top of all of that, the developers put out a tentative roadmap for the future of the game, with the big wishlist item being a multiplayer component. And I hope we get to see that someday. So here's the thing. At peak headcount, the team working on Underdogs was somewhere around 15 people. and what they managed to deliver, at least in my opinion, is nothing short of remarkable. I've had my own complaints about the state of VR development for a few years, and have held up Half-Life Alyx specifically as the crown jewel for VR gaming. A game that likely had a bigger budget and development team than any other VR game. I've been taking a look at a lot of the mods built on Alyx recently, and it's made it so clear that where that game succeeded is in building a strong, polished foundation that really understands the medium and limitations of the technology. They built the best game to those limitations, but it's clear that despite being such a small team, one Hamza really understands what makes VR work right now, and built something really unique on that foundation. It's not the most ambitious or expansive experience ever attempted in the medium, but at its core and within the limitations, it's an absurdly fun and immersive one that I think anyone dabbling in VR should check out. If you're interested in learning more about Underdogs, I'll drop a link to the store pages in my description. It's only $30 and I think it's more than worth it. But now I want to hear from you. I'm testing out some new video formats, and as always, if you made it this far in the video and you enjoyed the content, I really do appreciate every time someone hits that like button and drops a comment, letting me know what they think. It lets me know what kind of content you want to see more of, and it helps YouTube recommend it to more people. If you didn't like the video, I want to know that too. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.